Let me finish with Azelle.
Sure.
How does it feel to be charged with murder after you've been a police officer for 30 years, and then how does it feel to be acquitted?
Well, we'll start with the easiest one. Being acquitted is good, Yeah, I think probably the most difficult thing for me was that I knew I'd acted correctly. I knew I'd acted in accordance with the law and my training. And I felt all along, certainly as soon as I knew I was going to be charged, that I was being charged because people in positions of power and who should have made the right decisions were too cowardly to do so.
Throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, I think
Not standing up for
I
you.
think the Crown Prosecution Service were probably saying to themselves, well, we looked at this in 2016. We've seen no new evidence. We don't think there's any chance of conviction here, but I tell you what, rather than us make the decision and then be criticised, because another young black man's been killed because it's now post-Duggan, although he was shot before Duggan, we're now in a post-Duggan era. I tell you what, why don't we just charge him and let 12 members of the public off the street do our job for us? That's how I felt about it.
And if you're found guilty, well, you were Met Police's favorite serial killer, you shot guys before, let's give him up.
Yeah, I mean,
that doesn't feel good.
That's pretty much was my take on it, and to me,
that must make you bitter.
Well, do you know what? No, not really. I think life is just too short to bear grudges or think like that. And
it was the senior people that did that. Your fellow officers didn't do that, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. I was hugely supported by my colleagues and many senior officers as well.
Okay.
I think my attitude was that I'd been given a shit sandwich and I had to take a bite of it and just get on with it, Okay. And I never once, for 1 minute, thought that jury, either naively or, stupidly, did I think that the jury would find me not guilty, would find me guilty. Because I felt certain that, one 73-year-old, probably liberally minded, probably slightly left of centre judge, that's his one opinion. Because he was, some of the stuff that he was saying in his report and some of the questions that he was putting to me, I'm thinking, you don't get this, do you? This is completely outside your comfort zone. The very fact, he actually wrote in his report, one of his early reports, it's the job of the police service in the United Kingdom to protect the public, not kill them. I kind of knew.
Is that not true?
I kind of knew then I was screwed.
Okay.
If that was his attitude, before we've even gone down this route. If one person's opinion is one thing, but if you get 12 individuals from all walks of life, you like to think that there's enough common sense amongst them. And I'd done jury service by this time, and I probably knew enough about the jury system to not be as confident as I was. But I think that was the strange thing for me after 30 years of protecting the public, now having to throw myself onto the mercy of, 12 members of the public and hope that they had the common sense to realise that, I was doing my job.
Right. And it caused you to write this book and get the story out and become public. So that's a bit of a silver lining.
Not really. If you ask me, would I rather have just not been charged with murder and retired anonymously, then I would rather do that. The reason I wrote that book is because as soon as I got charged, my face was all over the internet because I wasn't allowed, through the back door anymore into the court. I wasn't allowed my anonymity code, so my name was published. One of the things you find when you're, is an eye-opener to me. I'd never really thought about it before, but when you're the defendant on day one of a trial at the Old Bailey or any court, the press will be there in hordes to listen to the opening speech because that will say what the prosecution's case is, and it will outline their case and everything. And of course, the prosecution is saying you're guilty. So when you read the papers that evening, they're pretty well done deal. Yeah, he shot and murdered this, poor kid, and then they go away. And all the valuable evidence that came from the intelligence, about what, how this was built up and everything, wasn't even reported in the paper. And then at the end of it, when you're found not guilty, it's like, that would have been a huge story if you'd been found guilty. We could have sent a page spread that, but, so you find yourself on page 5, that cop got off with that shooting, move on.
Welcome to mainstream media.
Well, exactly. And so this was my opportunity. First of all, it was like, right, well, you screw with my anonymity. My face is all over the paper. There's no hiding anymore. What that book gave me was the opportunity to actually punch holes in some of the myths and tell what the true story was.
Continue watching this fascinating conversation for free by clicking on the link below to visit our website, learn from the best minds in the world, and connect with a community of passionate people building the best versions of themselves. Just click on the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.